Ben Diesel, and this is the Dropbox for September 21st, 2011. DC Comics 52 relaunch begins this week with Aquaman #1. The superstar creators from Blackest Night and Brightest Day reunite to take Aquaman to amazing new depths. Aquaman has renounced the throne of Atlantis, but the sea will not release Arthur Curry so easily. Now from a forgotten corner of the ocean emerges the Trench, a broken race of creatures that should not exist, an unspeakable need driving them. The Trench will be the most talked about new character in the DC universe, written by Jeff Johns, with art by Ivan Rice. In Batman The Dark Knight #1, as a mysterious figure slinks through the halls of Arkham Asylum, Batman must fight his way through a gauntlet of psychos, and Bruce Wayne faces the unexpected legal ramifications of Batman Incorporated. The Dark Knight struggles against a deadly, yet strangely familiar foe, and this debut from writer and artist David Finch. In Flash #1, the Flash knows he can't be everywhere at once, but what happens when he faces an all-new villain who really can? As if that's not bad enough, the villain is a close friend. The Fastest Man Alive returns to his own monthly series with writer Francis Manapul and art by Ryan Bucciatello. In Green Lantern New Guardians #1, Kyle Rayner has assembled the most powerful team in all the universe, selected from the full spectrum of the Corps. But can he keep this volatile group together? Written by Tony Bernard, with art by Tyler Kirkham. In Justice League Dark #1, the witch known as the Enchantress has gone mad, unleashing forces that not even the combined powers of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Cyborg can stop. And if those heroes can't handle the job, who will stand against this mystical madness? Shade the Changing Man, Madame Xanadu, Deadman, Zatanna, and John Constantine may be our only hope, but how can we put our trust in beings whose very presence makes ordinary people break out in a cold sweat? Written by Peter Milligan, with art by Mikhail Jonin. In I, Vampire #1, for hundreds of years, vampire Andrew Stanton kept mankind safe from the horrors of the supernatural world, thanks to a truce he made with his ex-lover Mary, the Queen of the Damned. But now that truce has reached a bloody end, and Andrew must do everything in his power to stop Mary and her dark forces from going on a killing spree, and she plans to start with the heroes of the DC Universe. Written by John Filikov, with art by Andrea Sorrentino. In the Savage Hawkman #1, Carter Hall's skill at deciphering lost languages has led him to a job with an archaeologist who specializes in alien ruins, but will the Doctor's latest discovery spread an alien plague through New York City? No matter the personal cost, Carter Hall must don his wings and become the new, Savage Hawkman to survive. Witness the start of this new action series from writer Tony S. Daniel and artist Philip Tan. In Superman #1, the new adventures of Superman begins here. What is the Man of Steel's startling new status quo? How does it affect Lois Lane and the Daily Planet? There's no time for answers now, because Superman must stop a monstrous threat to Metropolis, one he is somehow the cause of. Written by George Perez, with art by Jesus Moreno. In Teen Titans #1, Tim Drake, Batman's former sidekick, is back in action when an international organization seeks to capture, kill, or co-opt superpowered teenagers. As Red Robin, he's going to have to team up with the mysterious and belligerent powerhouse thief known as Wonder Girl, and the hyperactive speedster calling himself Kid Flash, to stand any chance against a living, breathing weapon with roots in another world. They, along with a few other tortured teens, will be the Teen Titans in this new series from writer Scott Lobdell and artist Brett Booth. Finally, in Voodoo #1, who is Voodoo? Is she a hero, villain, or both? Learn the truth about Priscilla Keaton as she leaves a trail of violence across America. Discover the new DC Universe through her eyes, because the things she sees are not always what they seem. Written by Ron Mars, with art by Sammy Barasi. Marvel begins with the Spider Island tie-in Herc #8. You loved it when Herc dressed up as Thor, but can you handle the senses-shattering debut of the incredible Spider-Herc and versus the X-Men? Though he is the newly self-appointed protector of Brooklyn, when a rash of unusual occurrences begin breaking out in Manhattan, Hercules finds himself infested with spider powers of his own. Unfortunately, our web-slinging former demigod soon finds himself under the thrall of the insidious intelligence behind Spider Island and in a duel to the death against the fellow champions, the X-Men. Written by Fred Van Lente, with art by Greg Pak. In Spider Island, Deadly Hands of Kung Fu number 2, the spider power infestation of Manhattan is in full disgusting swing, and in the midst of the outbreak, Shang-Chi discovers that even if we all survive Spider Island, humanity itself faces the doomsday threat of an abominable monster. Harrowing horror and kung fu kicking, guest starring Iron Fist, The Immortal Weapons, and more. Written by Anthony Johnston, with art by Sebastian Fiumara. The final Spider Island tie-in is Venom number 7. Project Rebirth has been infested, and Venom's going deep undercover to start exterminating some bugs, starting with the Anti-Venom. Written by Rick Remender, with art by Tom Fowler. The Fear Itself tie-ins start with Avengers Academy, number 19. The students of the Avengers Academy are trapped within their school stalked by the Worthy. Their only hope against such awesome power is to destroy the Infinite Mansion, but unless they can find a way out, they'll die with it. Written by Christos Gage, with art by Tom Rainey. The final Fear Itself tie-in is New Mutants number 31. Hell ain't a bad place to be unless it's been overrun by forgotten horrors and ancient gods, clamoring to swallow all of creation. Then it kinda sucks. While the events of Fear Itself tear the world apart, Donnie Moonstar has been following the calling of her Valkyrie blood to the Viking underworld to save the Queen of the Dead. Can the rest of the New Mutants make it to Hell in time to save her and the souls of Valhalla from complete oblivion? Written by Dan Abbott and Annie Lenning, with art by Dan LaFuente. In The Amazing Spider-Man 670, nearly 50 years in the making, J. Jonah Jameson, the spectacular Spider-Mayor. Enough said? Almost, because if that wasn't enough, a long-running member of the Spidey cast has to make the ultimate sacrifice. Written by Dan Slott, with art by Humberto Ramos. In Annihilators Earthfall number 1, Marvel's cosmic heavy hitters come to Earth and fight the Avengers. What has brought Gladiator, Quasar, Ronin, Icon, and Beta Ray Bill to our planet, and why are they at odds with Earth's mightiest heroes? All this, plus each issue will feature a 5-page chapter of an all-new, all-hilarious Rocket Raccoon and Groot. Written by Dan Abbott and Annie Lanning, with art by T.A. Hout and T.T. Green II. In The Astonishing X-Men number 42, Storm, Beast, Colossus, and Agent Brand have all been implanted with broodlings, and it's only a matter of time until they are full-on brood themselves. Only Kitty and Lockheed are left, but is there anything they can do to help their teammates? Written by Christos Gage, with art by Juan Bilibo. In The Black Panther, Deadliest Man Alive, number 523.1, who is murdering the citizens of Hell's Kitchen that the Panther has previously rescued? That's what T'Challa wants to know, and he only has hours to solve the mystery before the killer strikes again. The jumping point for the Black Panther series begins here with writer David List, with art by Lefty Paulo. In Brilliant number 1, Brilliant tells the story of a handful of college-aged geniuses who challenge each other to solve the mystery of superpowers. Can the best and brightest change science fiction into science fact? And if so, how will the world react? Written by Brian Michael Bendis, with art by Mark Bagley. In Captain America and Bucky, number 622, the invaders are caught behind enemy lines, and only Bucky can save them. But what can one normal kid do to save 4 superhumans? Written by Ed Brubaker and Mark Andreyko, with art by Chris Sammy and Ed McGuinness. And Deadpool Max, number 12, the first year of Deadpool Max comes to a shocking end. Bob disbanded Hydra after winning it back from Deadpool, but Taskmaster has kept it going and turned it into a dangerous domestic terrorist organization. Now they've teamed up with Crescent Moon Knights and possibly factions within the United States government to release a stockpile of recently acquired Liquid X on an unsuspecting U.S. city. Can Deadpool and Agent Bob stop them in time, or is Bob once again playing into the hands of his puppet masters? Written by Dave Lampin, with art by Kyle Baker. In Fantastic Four number 9, this month in the Fantastic Four, the Evil Future Foundation is caught in the middle of the War of Four Cities. Watch as the war expands to encompass the entire Marvel Universe. Written by Jonathan Hickman, with art by Steve Epting. In Iron Man 2.0 number 9, War Machine has made an enemy for the ages, and the explosive Palmer Adley mystery races toward deadly consequences. The villain's secrets are revealed, but does this give Rhodey the key to defeating him, or make it all the more impossible? Written by Nick Spencer, with art by Ariel Olivetti. In Kick-Ass number 2, Red Mist takes on a new identity too vulgar for print and issues a command to all his super bastards on Twitter to wreak havoc on New York City. Meanwhile, the cops are cracking down on all costumed activity and tracing the secret identity of all the heroes. Could Dave get a knock on his door? And is enough hit spit the fan for Hit Girl to pick up her sword once again? Written by Mark Miller, with art by John Romita Jr. In the Mighty Thor number 6, the finale of the Galactus Seed. Odin and Galactus are ready to fight one another to the death, and only Thor and Silver Surfer stand between them and us. And in Fallen Asgard, Volstagg leads an unlikely army in aid of man and Asgardian alike, but what if Loki holds the key to saving the day? Written by Matt Fraction, with art by Oliver Copiel. In New Avengers 16.1, it's the return of Norman Osborn. Hammer has become a force to be reckoned with, and the followers of Osborn are ready. The New Avengers and Hammer showdown is one for the record books, and this is the first chapter in the blistering new storyline that will herald the return of the Dark Avengers. Written by Brian Michael Bendis, with art by Neil Adams. In Wolverine number 16, in the wake of last issue's gut-wrenching ending, Logan has turned his back on humanity and retreated once again to the Canadian wilderness. Is this the end of Wolverine as we know him, or the beginning of an all-new era for the old Knucklehead? Written by Jason Aaron, with art by Goran Sudzuka. In X-Men Legacy 256, when Rogue, Magneto, and Gambit jumped into space on an intergalactic search and rescue mission, they had no idea that it would land them in the middle of an extraterrestrial war. And to make matters worse, the space station that serves as the battlefield for the conflict is slowly falling into a collapsing star. With time running out on the lives of Havoc, Polaris, and Marvel Girl, these X-Men are in for a bumpy ride. Written by Mike Carey, with art by Steve Kurth. The Ultimates comic line begins with Ultimate Spider-Man number 2. You've seen the new Spider-Man, now see what he will do next. Will Miles follow in the footsteps of Peter Parker, or will he choose a different path? Written by Brian Michael Bendis, with art by Sarah Pachili. Finally, in Ultimates Comics Ultimates number 2, with S.H.I.E.L.D. at its limits and the Ultimates one man down, Nick Fury is having a little trouble maintaining the super and his superpowers. As a new threat looms over the weakening Empire, will Fury have something up his sleeve? Written by Jonathan Hickman, with art by Hassad Ribic. Thanks for watching the Dropbox. Come back next week for more comic-related news and releases. Bada peace.